Hi everyone, I hope you all. This is CoinsKid, just going to dive into Bitcoin, big old CoinsKid crew. So right now, Bitcoin, it has put in this measured move here, and these measured moves are really accurate. I'll show you this one here. We've got this top here, okay, in 2014, and then we rolled into this bear market here, and you can see you put in this depleting buying pressure, which was basically a massive double top and a descending triangle on the monthly time frame, where at the end of it, you got that price compression, and then you capitulated down and you put in the measured move there for Bitcoin, which was this leg down, boom, target met. And equally within that, within all of that mess, what you've got is this descending trend line, and you can see that once you break that, that was confirmation, fall back to support, confirmation that you're in a massive uptrend there for Bitcoin, okay? And then equally here, you put in this top, you came down, you got the same instance as the descending triangle, like in the previous correction just there in the previous bear market, boom, came down, come down, price compression towards the apex, and then capitulated down just there on that measured move target, and again conforming to this descending trend line of support and resistance. Basically, look, resistance, 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 broken out, uptrend, resistance, resistance, broken out, uptrend effectively. And just here was coming up, and then obviously we've got the ABC correction of the Corona dump just there in 2020. But right now, Bitcoin, it's done exactly the same, but in this instance it's put some kind of double top in there, some kind of a regular correction where it's got this high, it's rolled down to support, put in a regular correction, made a higher high, and it's come down again. You've got price compression here, a descending triangle, and you've put in a measured move. Sorry about that. You put in a measured move down, and you've actually met the technical target of that measured move right now. Let me show you here for Bitcoin. So if I was to measure that from there to there, you can see that's your measured move all the way from there to there. You've lost support just there, and boom, you've come down and met the technical target. And what you're doing again, which is what you've done in previous cycles, you're conforming to a level of support just here, which is where you're bouncing at the moment, and this key level of resistance. So again, if you're sort of sitting in the wings here, you don't necessarily want to catch a falling knife or time the bottom perfectly or whatever, and you are concerned that Bitcoin is going to do something like this and fall through this support, which it has always held. Okay, you can see it's always held when it's been coming down like this. Okay, doesn't mean it has to hold it again, obviously, because anything can happen. We're in uncharted waters right now with the macro environment having an impact on Bitcoin apparently. But anyway, aside from that, right now you can say, okay, well, if Bitcoin does hold this support, technically it's looking for that resistance, okay, and then it will begin to look more and more like the previous cycles coming up to test this resistance. And if you start to break that, this is where you could actually enter Bitcoin. As soon as you get the close above that key level resistance, it could be a major indicator that Bitcoin's on a run basically going forward. So again, wait for that, and I've always said that to you, on any time frame, higher, low, whatever, you have resistance and you have support trend lines. That's all it's about, okay? The more you zoom out, the more you see. Obviously, this is the monthly time frame, so one really strong indicator going forward, is not necessarily all these bottom signals that I'm giving you, is it could be just breaking this trend line, breaking out and closing above this trend line in the future, wherever it is. Even if you roll here and you come down and you do what people say, whenever you start to come back up and you break this trend line, boom, that's your go signal, isn't it? That's your entry point right there for Bitcoin, okay, without trying to catch a falling knife or time the bottom basically. So yeah, that's a measured move for Bitcoin. You could say the correction's in here because essentially what you've got is some kind of double top pattern. You've lost support, you've got the close just there, and with that, you've put in a technical target of a double M top pattern, even at some kind of little mini descending triangle in this instance just there. You've actually put in a measured move. So like I said to you, I'm a little bit more biased right now from a technical standpoint of something like this right over this, okay, because like I've said to you, bulls make money, bears make money, and pigs get slaughtered. And in my opinion, Bitcoin is a little bit overextended to the downside at the moment. I'm looking at a lot of technicals that are telling me that, but it doesn't mean that it can't drop further, obviously, because this is Bitcoin. This is, anything can happen. It's so volatile. Do you understand? So let's take a look at the daily time frame right now for Bitcoin. So looking at Bitcoin on the daily time frame, then I think what you've got here is this bottom out pattern here at the moment. You've got a W double bottom pattern like this, okay, and ascending triangle. And I did say to you at this point, if Bitcoin gets rejected here and starts to roll, people will start to poo-poo themselves again, thinking you're going to do something like that, okay. And obviously anything can happen. It's all about support and resistance. But right now, if Bitcoin does come back and it bounces off this trend line, this could actually be a really good entry point for you with a stop loss on this low, okay. Put your stop loss on that low, because if you catch this and it starts to come back up and we break out, you're confirming a breakout and you're confirming your bottom here at the moment anyway, and you will have a technical breakout target from there to there, and you could see where Bitcoin could break that resistance at some point, come up to this resistance, break it, because you're in a technical target of around about, let me drop that in, okay. So this is the bullish scenario around about 2670. What we're going to do is drop the fibs from this low to this high, and you can see that if you do start to break that high as well, the 1 fib, which is key resistance just there, you will be up there on the 1414, and equally the 1618 around about 27834 for Bitcoin. So you know, this is called trading the ranges right here. If you do start to come back down and you get a lovely little wick grab, okay, off this low here, the 382 at 19611 with a stop loss on the 236 at 18817, if it does bounce off that and comes up, okay, you're looking at a minimal breakout target on the 1414, 33%. But if we get to the 1618, it's a 41% long opportunity. Okay, when others are really fearful and really bearish, looking for continuation to the downside, it's an optimal entry point. Do you understand? So again, no guarantees, and obviously if it starts to go the other way, this is why you have stop losses, because there for a 40% long, you could actually be in a little short of around about 4%. So you know, risk management, it's entirely up to you what you do, but that's what I'm doing. That's the play I'm looking for right now. You know, and don't over leverage, don't be a degen. You can do all this on Bybit. Okay, the link is in each and every single video description on each and every video that I upload. You know, again, don't over leverage, don't be a degen, okay, because it can obviously go the other way and get invalidated, and this is why you always use stops. So right now, this is a nice little pattern that I'm seeing here for Bitcoin, okay, calling up, calling up, calling up, and if you break this resistance, okay, fantastic, we've got a lovely little long in front of us, and we can all trade this together pretty much like we did last year when everyone was getting really bearish at the bottom as well of that correction, you know, last year. So basically, I wish everybody the utmost luck, and this is the trade that I'm looking at right now for Bitcoin, okay, and this is why you always use stop losses, you know, risk management. And if it goes sour, it goes sour. It is what it is. If it does go sour, okay, and we do start to lose this support here, you know, if we start to close outside this ascending level support, that could be quite negative, and it could be a precursor, okay, it might be a really good area to go short, okay, and not go long. And if you do start to close outside that, it could be a precursor to at least come in to retest that low, okay. And again, this is why you always use stop losses, because if you lose this low here, what you've got is another impulsive move to the downside, and you can measure the technical target. From there is your high, basically retracement from this low, and you could say, okay, well, a minimal target, if we do start to lose this 1 fib, okay, all the way down there, will be the 1272 at 16516, okay. So the precursor to that is, if you start to come down and you lose this trend line, you start to close outside of it, it could give the game away that you are actually going to come down and put another impulsive move to the downside on these targets here for Bitcoin, okay. So you understand the update, it's all about support and resistance, okay. Take care everyone, back to another update on Bitcoin. Stay off